That's
Okay, hi everyone, thank you so much for having me here today. My name is Jocelyn Campbell, but I often go by Josie as well. I'll be presenting on Move Sweat Beer, adapting Michelob Ultra's Movement Live campaign to resonate with rural audiences. I did this study with Dr. Cindy Price-Schultz, and it stems from my thesis research as well. And we're from Wyoming, so thank you for having me today, and I'm glad I made it, because it sounds like everyone had some fun travel days. So, let's get into it. If you haven't heard of the brand before, Michelob Ultra is a low-calorie, low-carbohydrate beer that targets active people who want a more social and less intense feel to working out. Precisely, I'm the target audience. I like to work out, but I want to enjoy a beer without feeling guilty. Hence the slogan, it's only worth it if you enjoy it. Ultra is also the official beer sponsor of the Professional Golfers Association, the Men's and Women's National Basketball Association, and Team USA at the 2024 and 2026 Olympic and Paralympic Games. Today, as of 1 month ago, Michelob Ultra is now the top selling and fastest growing beer brand in the US. So, now what's Movement Live? Movement Live is an experiential marketing campaign that combines high energy workouts with a celebratory after party for people 21 years or older. It was first launched in 2018 as a 3-day fitness festival, but fast forward 5 years later to 2023, which is incredible in itself because a 5-year marketing campaign is hard to achieve. Movement Live became a nationwide fitness tour. It visited 6 large cities, including Houston, Dallas, Denver, Atlanta, Charlotte, and Chicago. The common theme of them, they're all urban and mostly densely populated. Pictured in this slideshow are photos from the 2021 Movement Live event, which took place at Petco Park, which is the baseball stadium in San Diego. Despite being recognized by Adweek as the best experiential activation by a beverage brand, and again, despite being a 5-year campaign, no published studies have researched this event. So now let's take a step back. What is experiential marketing? It's when an organization creates an immersive experience for the consumer rather than just selling a product. But why should we care? Experiential campaigns and events are the most successful marketing tactic for industry professionals, which far exceeds any other marketing tactic. In fact, 74% of consumers say that engaging with branded experiences makes them more likely to buy products. I wonder if this will play. I have a video in here, but oh, I don't think it will. That's okay. Although it's always been a national campaign, Western Wyoming Beverages decided to bring the fitness party to Rock Springs, Wyoming. Western Wyoming Beverages, which I will refer to as WWB, is a beverage distribution company that carries Pepsi and Anheuser-Busch products, including Michelob Ultra. This local company decided to host a Movement Live event at Wyoming's Big Show, which is the local Sweetwater County fair, and this workout was led by Kenny Santucci, a famous New York trainer. While it may seem uncharacteristic for a beverage brand to create loyal brand communities, light beer brands are considered products with low involvement but evoke strong feelings for people. I mean, just think of the endless debate between Pepsi and Coca-Cola. We have some pretty loyal fans there. To define the term, a brand community is a group of people with a shared interest of a brand. So with the groundwork laid, what was my game plan? So I researched 3 different things. First, how did WWB use Movement Live to connect with the brand community in a rural setting? Second, how did participants feel after interacting with the first year, or the first event? And then why did people come back the second year? Sorry. To explore these questions, I conducted a case study to explore the 2 consecutive Movement Live events that WWB hosted in 2023 and 2024, while also comparing it to the national campaign. Again, this study stems from what I did for my thesis. For data collection, we have primary and secondary data. I did a qualitative study. This includes interviews, surveys from me, and physical artifacts because I actually attended the events as well. So I did 2 semi-structured interviews, one with Ryan Grossnickel, Director of Sales and Beer Portfolio at WWB, and then Kenny Santucci, a famous New York trainer. He attended many of the National Movement Live events, but again, also the local one. And then secondary surveys from the beverage distribution company. WWB Instagram and Facebook posts and comments, their website landing pages, and then a montage video that a local news organization created. So for data analysis, data was analyzed using a grounded theory approach suggested by Corbin and Strauss. Okay, so let's jump into the results. How did WWB use Movement Live to connect with the brand community in a rural setting? First, WWB created a family-oriented event in Sweetwater County. It did so by lowering the cost of the event. For this event, it was only $15 for the workout, the swag bag, and your fare admission. One participant even responded that it was well worth the cost to participate, indicating that this was a factor that decided if they should attend. WWB also scaled the workout to accommodate all ability levels. According to Santucci, Rock Springs had the biggest demographic differences that he has seen as a workout instructor, with people ranging in age from 22 to 73. We also even had 5-year-olds at the event. Most of his other events have only had people 25 to 35 years old, hence the giant discrepancy. But despite this wide demographic difference, Kenny explained that there were no differences between the national event and the local event, because it's the community that showed up. Third, WWB created a family-oriented event by hosting it at the local fair. The venue was an important factor for people because parents could bring their kids with them and not have to ask for a babysitter. Finally, despite adapting the rest of the event, the high energy trainer was maintained to represent the brand. Not only did WWB create a family-oriented event, but they also used Movement Live to promote community in 2 ways. First, they promoted community through branded gear. Although people weren't required to, a majority of the participants wore the shirts that were given out both years. The gear allowed people to feel connected with others despite the different ages and activity levels. One participant even said, even though I was walking by myself with my dogs during the 5K, I felt like part of the whole group when we saw each other afterwards with our medals on. The second way they promoted community was through fitness itself. The workout class made people feel connected to each other. In the montage video that the news organization created, it features people smiling, laughing, and high-fiving each other during the workout, which is pretty incredible. Third, WWB adapted the campaign by hosting a post-workout happy hour instead of a concert like the national events did. One survey respondent shared that they enjoyed this aspect. This was the quote. It was something new, something I haven't been a part of. How cool is it to have a decent workout and celebrate it afterwards with a beer? Moving forward to research question 2. How did consumers feel after the event? First, consumers experienced greater life satisfaction. For example, one person said, it was high energy and fun, regardless of your activity level or experiences with exercise previously. In fact, the word fun, when I was coding, occurred twice as often as the word beer. People also described the event as supportive. This was shown in the way that people described the event as an opportunity to learn how to move their bodies and live a healthier lifestyle. For example, one person said, when they were asked what they believed the message of the event was, make fitness a part of your everyday life by being active, and fitness is only worth it if you enjoy it. Beyond greater life satisfaction, people also experience greater support within the community. This was shown in the way people described the event as an opportunity to socialize and work out with others. For example, people described the event, described the group aspect of the workout by saying it was a lot of fun to do with friends. So again, opportunities to socialize and meet others. Okay, last but not least, not only did Movement Live affect how people viewed themselves and their community, but it also affected how they viewed the brands involved. Consumers experienced greater affinity toward both Ultra as the beverage brand and WWB after attending Movement Live. First, this was shown in how consumers were grateful and thankful towards the brands for hosting Movement Live. For example, one participant said, thanks for putting this on for everyone to enjoy. They also took the time to go comment on their Facebook post after to say thank you as well. While many of the comments were directly towards WWB, people also shared their appreciation toward Michelob Ultra as the beverage brand. One person said, I thought it was cool that Michelob Ultra sponsored something in a healthy way. Another way that people experienced greater affinity is that they wanted to attend another event. In the survey, 100% of respondents said yes to if they would participate again. Okay. Finally, why did people come back the second year? First, participants came back because they were driven by a desire for belonging. Some people had friends that did it last year, and they wanted to feel included in the second year. For example, one participant said, "I heard how fun it was last year, so I wanted to join in on the fun exercise." Second, participants returned to Movement Live because they believed it would bring them entertainment, which was described using the word fun. In fact, the reason that a 5K race was added to the second year's event was because people in the first year mentioned that they wanted the event to last longer. They had too much fun and they wanted more of it. By making the campaign a fun experience, Michelob Ultra has helped consumers feel like they're a part of something bigger than them. It's a movement that crosses generations and helps people feel that they're contributing to a better cause. So my biggest takeaway was that this campaign wasn't about the beer. It was about the fun fitness experience that you did with others. Okay. But what does this all mean, and what can we take away as marketers, as communication and journalism professionals? First, this study supports that small local businesses should, when they can, adapt national campaigns to create an experience for their target audience. Second, experiential marketing is effective because it can help build brand communities and spread word of mouth for your business. Third, consumers want to immerse themselves in the brands they love. So rather than talking to people, try to interact with them. Although WWB is a distribution company, they are heavily involved in the community outreach events because they are family owned and operated. For this reason, it made sense for WWB to be the company that brought Movement Live to Rock Springs. In fact, Movement Live attendees recognize this corporate social responsibility. A 2024 Movement Live participant was asked how they felt about Michelob Ultra as a brand after the event, and this is what the person said. "I don't think about Michelob Ultra as much as Western Wyoming Beverages. They are so community involved." What I want you to take away from the study is that brands are flexible and co-created, which means that campaigns need to be adapted to fit the people they are serving. After both of these events, I reached back out to the director of sales for WWB to get his thoughts on how Movement Live went for them. And this is what he said. "I do believe it has helped WWB. We have seen our sales increase with Michelob Ultra. However, it's more than that. We are a beverage distributor putting on a workout event, and a damn good one. So people don't just see us as a distributor, they see us as a strong community member. Some amazing things can happen when local brands come together." And I did want to also note that they did have a 2025 event that I attended as well. This is not included in the research, but it's so good that it keeps growing. And instead of doing like a relay workout or something similar that they did in previous years, they actually had silent disco yoga, which is awesome. And basically there were 3 different levels of yoga that you can attend, and everyone had on different headsets. And if you wanted to be in the beginner class and you thought it was too easy, you could switch to the intermediate by switching the dial on the headset, which is pretty unique. The yoga instructors after came up and to WWB and said, "This is the coolest thing ever," and we didn't think it was going to work as an instructor. And then it worked out and it was a fun event. So it just keeps growing and adapting at the local level. And then thank you real quick too. WWB was gracious enough to offer swag to the conference because I mentioned that I was going to be presenting, and this is a big deal for me because it's the first time I presented at a conference. So I do actually have Michelob Ultra shirts and bottle openers as well, and I brought a lot, so please take some home with you. And my carry-on will be a lot lighter.
Okay.